Well, hello and welcome to the VK6PM's Fun with Amateur Radio channel. Now, Peter, VK6PM, picked up this ATU, antenna tuning unit, at a local hamfest for about $10. You can see it's been sitting in someone's shed for a while, I would think. Someone's actually hammered the edge over on the case there, but still, it doesn't have to be a work of art as long as it matches antennas. That's all it has to do. Now, unusually for an ATU, this is a tank circuit. This is not. Usually they're T matches or L matches. These ATUs. This one's a pi match. And it's called a pi match because if you actually look at the circuit diagram, you've got the power coming in on one side, say on the left hand side, variable capacitor to ground, and then it continues, the energy continues on through an inductor, an adjustable inductor, then another capacitor to ground at the other end, and then the energy goes out. And if you look at that, it looks a little bit like the pi symbol. It's the only reason they're called a pi tank circuit. And they're called a tank circuit because they do actually store energy, tank circuits. Not for very long, of course. Right, now, got a couple of fairly nice capacitors in here. They're from an old valve broadcast radio, I suspect. They're not going to take, I mean, there's my hand for scale. They're not going to take an awful amount of power there. But it'd probably be okay up to 100 watts. Quite a nice roller inductor. It does need cleaning. I've tried cleaning it with the isopropyl alcohol and cotton buds to get it to tune at all. It's all over the place, but it needs a bit more attention than I have time to give it, to be honest. Now, excuse me. The other thing I noticed with this is the capacitors. So the capacitors are joined together here. Got a bit of tape around that because there's a cover that goes over this unit. And I think it probably would have been better to put the capacitors vertical. If you mounted the capacitors vertically and a little bit up the panel there, you wouldn't have to worry about these, you could put a little link, sort of stiff wire link across there, and it would be far enough from the chassis you wouldn't have to worry about it. That there has got some stuff on it as well because you've got that there. I don't know if there's any benefit really from putting the roller coaster, the variable inductor in the inside this screen box arrangement, but whoever built it thought it was probably a good idea. Okay, so I've just set a pot up to show, this is on the ×1 range, this meter, and it's indicating 500 ohms. Okay, so I'm just going to disconnect those leads. Do this. I'm going to disconnect the leads and connect them to the output of the ATU. One there. The other one's just going on the outer of the SO239 socket there, just to give it 500 ohms. And if we look at the FG01 antenna analyzer, some room to actually walk around the camera here. There we go. Okay, so there's the match. Oh no, this is going to start doing what my old camera used to do. Come on, I haven't got a great deal of time to play around with these things today. Okay, right, so you can see there's the match, 1.4 to 1. Impedance is 50 ohms. That's the match we've got with this tank circuit to a 500 ohm load, and you can see the centre frequency there is 3.605, which is a sort of local West Australian 80 metre chit chat channel. I'll just show you what I mean about the roller inductor being a bit dirty. If I just adjust the roller inductor, See all that noise on it? Oh, look at that. So with a good clean up, that roller inductor will work nice and smoothly, and you'll certainly be able to get a good match on 80 metres. If you've got a 100 watt radio, that tank circuit is matching that quite nicely. 1.1, 1.2 and 50 ohms. So ATU like this, where you might be likely to use it, you might want to use it on 20 metres I suppose, or 7 megs possibly. Let's just see how it will do. I'll tell you what, let's I mean, I had a look at the feed point impedance of my antenna, my long wire antenna, and random wire antenna. It was about, actually no, it was about 500 ohms, 500 or 600 ohms I think. Okay, well I'll just see how it looks on 40 metres. Okay, that's 40 metres there. And we've still got the 500 ohm resistor across it. So without moving the caps, I'll just move the inductor. As you can see, that's that's really noisy, that inductor. Oh, something's happening. What have we got here? It's looking promising. Tiptoe away pretty quick. Yeah, I think with that inductor cleaned up, I mean that's going to give a nice 50 ohm match into a 500 ohm load. I don't think I'm going to be able to get close to it simply because the inductor's just too dirty. If I can tweak it in with the caps maybe. So yeah, if we don't use that part of the coil, we can get an acceptable match there. Let's bring that impedance up. Solid state PA is like 50 ohms, so there we go. It's 1.1, 42, 43, 45, 46. Tweak on the other side. It's 50. Yeah, just get that just a little bit further over there like that. There we go. So there's one. Oh God, it's bloody camera. Okay, so there you can see there's a match of 1 to 1, and the impedance is, it was 50 ohms, it's changed to 49, but the transmitter's not going to know the difference. If I tweak that cap, there you go. So 1 and 50 ohms, and that's matching 7.093, and it's matching to the 500 ohms. Now, the 500 ohms is, I don't know, it's a pretty ballpark figure really for people that are going to chuck a wire down the garden probably. I mean, you see these random wire antennas and they've got a balun on them, or an anan or whatever it is, and they're usually 9 to 1, which is sort of 450 ohms. You get a reasonable match across most bands by all accounts. So I would say I won't go. Let's just try it on 20 just to see how it goes. 14. So I probably need a bit less C, so I'll try with the caps out a little bit. Oh, what's that? Bringing something visible in already. Yeah, it's very hard to do with this blooming inductor. So when you get this back peak, first thing to do is to take that inductor out and give it a bloody good clean. Or you might be able to clean it with it in situ with a toothbrush and some isopropyl alcohol, something like that. I mean, I've tried cleaning it with these These cotton buds, oh, that's a new one. There you go. These cotton buds, as you can see, I've tried cleaning it, but it's still pretty gritty, still pretty grotty. Let's just see if we get a bit more in there. Okay. Still making its mind up if it's got a connection. It's 1.3. There we are. It's 1.3 and 55. If I just tweak that a little bit. Whoop. Yeah, because me touching the knob is making a slight difference to it. Yeah, I think, I mean, I can get it to, there we are. That's 1.3, 1.3 to 1, and it's probably changing because of that inductor, I think. Yeah, look how wildly widely and wildly that's changing. Just touching that, that's just, you can't see my hand there, but I'm just getting the slightest touch of that roller inductor. Okay. Now if I just change that, bring that back up to 50 ohms. There we go. Yeah, if there was a bit more adjustment on that roller inductor, it could probably improve on that 1.3 to 1, but it's still usable. So that's on the centre frequency there of 14.2 megs. Sweep width is 500 kilohertz, so you can see it's not bad at all, really. And 1.2 to 1 and 49 ohms. So if I just touch the knob, that will go to 50 probably. There you go. And 50 ohms. So that's on 20 metres. So I would say that this ATU, this tank circuit ATU, would be worth cleaning up. I mean, it's not a work of art, but it works. As I say, the changes I would make, tripod out of the way, is I would put these capacitors the other way up, so that way up like that, to get these sort of high voltage points on the capacitors here and here, away from that screen and away from the side of the box. Just move the capacitors up a little bit there. Same on the other side. Got this here over the solder joint to stop it arcing onto the case, because if you look at it, the case is going to be flush with that edge. It comes up straight there. So yeah, it's he sort of thought about putting the roller inductor in a screen, but he hasn't put much thought beyond that in there. Unless this is part of another unit, maybe. That screen was already there and he just sort of hammered it into shape to make an ATU out of it, possibly. But, anyway, match a pretty typical 500 ohm load on 20 metres, 40 metres and 80 metres. It does. And I bet it'd probably match top band as well, if you were psychotic enough to want to go on to 1.8 megs. Just have a look. Okay, there's 1.8 megs. Oh, of course, I'm holding the camera now, aren't I? A bit more C. More C. And put a bit more L in there. adjusting the roller inductor. You can see that's coming in. It's going to give a fairly nice broad tune by the look of it. Oh, you can see that's coming in there, but this roller inductor is just so dirty. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's pretty close already. That's without tweaking the caps even. 1.1, 43 ohms. Let's move that over a bit more. Yeah, by changing the C there. It's coming out quite nicely. Well, if that roller inductor was actually making contact, there you go. I mean, that's one, there you go, 1.1. That's 1.1 and 47, 48 ohms. Just adjust that slightly. Oh. Yeah, well, you can see where that's going anyway. If I could get some decent adjustment on that roller inductor, I mean, that's 1.2 to 1, 50 ohms, 1.8 megs, and again the load is 500 ohms. So there you go. The tank match ATU, and as I say, with that roller inductor cleaned up, I think that will make some nice smooth adjustments and be much easier to match. Okay, well, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.